My name is Carol Emsley, and I'm here at Carroll Lutheran Village on May the 25th, 2011, talking to Charlie Swinderman, who lives here in assisted living. Charlie, can you tell me something about when and where you were born?
In Westminster in 1920.
1920, which means you are now 91?
Yeah.
91 years old, right. And how did you celebrate your 90th birthday?
Just like any other day.
Oh, you didn't have a special celebration?
No.
Okay, right.
I'm just glad to be alive at my age and everything.
I would think so, yes. And you were born right here in Westminster, in the hospital?
I was born in Baltimore in a hospital, and I came back home.
Oh, okay. So your mother had you in a hospital, though, because some children were born at home in those days, weren't they?
No, I was born in a hospital. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, in those days, it cost a couple of dollars and you were born at home.
Right, and I suppose they had midwives instead of doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, I don't know just what went on when I was born.
But you were delivered by a doctor anyway. Right.
What?
I said you were delivered by a doctor.
I guess a midwife or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm here.
Tell me about your family.
Well, let me see. My mother wasn't married at the time. I was a grand surprise.
Grand surprise.
She married an older man later on.
Mm-hmm.
He helped to pay for my college education and everything.
Uh-huh.
And our age difference was pretty good. We got along. When he died at about the age I am now, 90-some, I was 17.
Oh, so he was a lot older.
Western Maryland College, Daniel College up here.
Mm-hmm. So how old were you when your mother married him?
That's about 28 or something like that.
Oh, you were a grown-up man by the time your mother married.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't your stepfather in terms of being a father figure in your life.
You see, when he come to die, I was 17, my first year at college.
Okay.
And he was 80-some, about
right.
my age.
Okay, fine. So your mom was a single mom. Where did you live?
George Street, 31 West George Street in Westminster.
Okay. And how did your mom support you?
She married a much older man who sold his farm and had...
But when you were a little boy, when she brought you home from the hospital and you were a little baby, how did she support you then?
Well,
did she work?
Married an older man, he was retired.
Right. But did she have a job? Did she work?
Not at that time, no.
Oh, okay.
But her husband supported her.
Right.
Later on, she got a job as a school cafeteria manager because she's a good cook.
Okay.
And that's how she supported herself and me. And we got along pretty good.
Okay. And did your grandparents live here in Westminster?
Yeah, now I just remember my grandfather. He sit in the back room of our house and just looked out the window. He didn't read, do anything. But I remember him.
How about your grandmother?
That she died before I was born. Laura Haynes Swinderman.
Okay.
But she died before I was born.
Oh, so you never knew her?
No.
Oh, okay. Your grandfather, what did he do for a living?
Yeah, I knew him. I used to sit with him in the back room. He'd just sit and look out the window. He didn't read or anything.
Right. Do you think he knew how to read?
I think, oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty well educated, I think.
What had he done for a living?
Well, when I was born, he was a sexton at the St. John's Catholic Church.
Oh, okay.
He also played the violin and played a little orchestra. And he was a register of elections. He kept the books.
Okay.
For the when they had elections.
Which party, or neither side? Did you just do it for the election?
I'm a Democrat. I was registered as a Democrat.
Okay, and your grandfather was a Democrat also?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine. So.
And he was Charlie, same as I am, Charlie Swinderman. I just remember him sitting with him in the back room. He just sit and look out the window. He didn't read or anything. But that's the way I remember him.
Right, So.
He died of tuberculosis.
Okay.
He died up at Sibyllsville.
Okay.
When that was a tuberculosis hospital.
Okay, a sanatorium there.
Yeah, sanatorium.
Right, okay.
And he looked me over with a fine-tooth comb, but they couldn't find any evidence that I'd
you had any.
Picked up anything.
Yeah, because it's very contagious, I know.
Yeah.
Well, tell me then, where did you go to school?
I went from the 1st grade up to the 11th grade at St. John's Parochial School in Westminster. That was a Catholic school.
Oh, and it went right through graduation. I don't think it does anymore, does it? Doesn't it just go to 8th grade now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think then they have to go to public school. To public schools.
But in those days, it had four grades of high school.
And
I graduated from there in 1936.
Okay.
In 1940, I graduated from Western Maryland College.
Okay, so you went from high school to Western Maryland, now McDaniel, of course. What did you study at McDaniel?
Science, biology, music.
Okay, three main studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, when you were a little boy, when you went to school, and do you have any nice memories of your early childhood?
Oh yeah. I remember one thing. My mother, when I slept with my mother as a child, she used to sing to me all the time.
What did she sing?
A lot of little children's songs and things.
Do you remember any of them?
Not really.
No.
She played the violin, and I had a good childhood.
That's good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Did you have good friends?
Yeah, I made friends. There's a lot of kids in the neighborhood. I was an only child. So I was born when my mother wasn't married, which was a pretty big disgrace.
Of course it was, yes. And she was very brave to keep you, because lots of mothers didn't.
Yeah, I think about this. She could have got rid of me by a horseman or something, but she didn't.
Yeah. Or put you up for adoption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure many unwed mothers did that.
She kept hold of me.
Yeah.
And I went through college and everything. As soon as I got out of college, I got in the war.
Right.
Second World War.
Well, now you must have come by your love of music honestly then, if your grandfather was a musician and your mother played the violin. And when did you start playing the piano?
I was about 6 years old.
Okay. Did you have a piano in your house?
Yeah. Well, later on, not right away. First couple of years I didn't have a piano, but then
Where did you practice then?
Neighbor's house across the street.
Okay, and they let you come over there and practice. Who was your piano teacher?
Ethel DeLong. Well, first the nuns at St. John's School.
Okay.
When I was 6 or 7 years old. Then Mrs. DeLong got a hold of me. And she was a graduate of Peabody.
Oh,
And really studied the piano.
Right.
Then along about when I was 14 or 15, it really took a hold of me, and I practiced like it was no tomorrow. I got pretty good at it.
And you told me that you had dreamt of being a concert pianist.
Yeah, that's the reason I practiced so much.
Yeah. What kind of things did you play? Were you playing popular music?
No.
No?
That was too easy.
Oh,
I played classical.
Classical. Did you have a favorite composer?
Yeah, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin.
Okay. Any of the great masters, huh?
Yeah.
Right. So, and did you ever have a chance to perform publicly?
Oh, different times, but I give a recital for Mrs. DeLong, consisting of a Bach prelude and fugue, Beethoven sonata, and some Liszt pieces for regular recital. She had in her home.
And was it just you playing, or did her other students play as well?
No, just me.
Just you.
Because this is the full recital.
Right,
I played a Beethoven sonata, some Chopin pieces, Bach pieces.
How old were you then?
I was 16.
Okay, so you're still in high school.
Yeah, when I got out of high school, I was 16.
Okay. Do you remember being nervous playing in front of people?
No.
Oh, you weren't?
Because I had practiced so much, I knew it down cold.
Right to the ends of your fingers, huh?
So when I sit down, I had it all memorized, and I played it right off.
Oh.
And I enjoyed doing that. But,
when you were a little boy, did you have chores you had to do around the house?
oh yeah. Some of I didn't like too much.
Nobody likes chores.
Cleaning the chicken house. Man, we had about 200 chickens at a time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah?
And in the summertime, God, I just hated that, but had to do it. Scrape the damn chicken roosts,
Yeah?
all the dirt and the stuff, and then you had to put lime around it and fill the feed boxes and all this stuff. We had 200-300 chickens at a time.
Right. What, were you raising chickens for eggs or for meat?
Eggs and to be slaughtered and as chickens
For Sunday dinners?
for dinner.
Right.
Uh,
Was that your grandfather's business, raising hens?
yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So you had these hens right in town, is that right? You had all these hens right in town?
10.
You lived in town?
Oh yeah, on 31 West Stewart Street.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were allowed to have livestock in town?
Yeah. We had a big chicken house. We had 200-300 chickens. We were, in fact, on the line. We were outside of town.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't any long. Before that, we had about 5 hogs. But then when I got older, we didn't have any more hogs.
Okay.
We had a big chicken house and a small chicken house.
Right,
There's a lot of chickens.
Yeah. Did you have to gather the eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had dozens of eggs at a time. With 200 or 300 chickens.
Yeah.
Good
200 or
many
300 eggs.
And we shipped some eggs in metal egg crates,
Okay.
packed in cardboard and everything. To
Keep them from
apart.
breaking, yeah.
And we shipped maybe 3 dozen at a time, or 4 or 5 dozen in a metal box.
Where'd you ship them to?
Baltimore and Philadelphia.
Okay.
And we couldn't lose too many either.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
These crepes are pretty good.
Because they're fragile things, eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have any eggs that you let the chickens sit on and you had baby chicks? Or did you buy baby chicks?
We bought peepees.
Okay.
Whole bunch of them in the springtime. We had brooders, kind of a little house with a kerosene stove in it to keep them warm. They go peep, peep, peep. Always little chickens. But
they're so cute when they're little, aren't they?
Yeah.
Little yellow balls of
And they
fluff.
finally get some size and turn into chickens.
Yeah, and they get their feathers and they aren't so cute anymore.
Sell the eggs and the chickens.
Right.
Then we start all over again maybe the next year or so.
Right,
We have a new crop of chickens.
What did you do in the summertime?
Cleaning chicken houses.
Well, you must have done some things for fun. What did you do for fun?
Oh, I was an only child,
Right.
but we had a bunch of kids in the neighborhood.
Right.
So we played hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
We always had a good many children,
Uh-huh.
and we found out about the children. I always got along with the other kids. pretty
Uh-huh.
good. And we always played together up on George Street. There was a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
The Matthias kids, Frankie Toboggan. It's about 10 children, I guess, went on George Street.
Right.
They played together.
Did you get into any mischief?
Nothing serious, really. And Doris Matthias Hood, she's still living, and she was one of my childhood
Playmates.
squeezes,
Oh.
sweethearts. She was real cute when she was small.
Where does she live now? You said she's still living?
Still living. Doris Matthias Hood, she married a guy named Webster Hood.
Right, uh-huh. So,
But she's still alive. I haven't managed to get in contact with her for years,
mm-hmm.
but I would like to sometime.
Right.
Just to sit down and talk.
But you don't want another squeeze. You don't want another squeeze. You said she was a childhood squeeze. You're not looking for another squeeze?
Oh, no. That'd be crazy. 'Cause I'm just not marriageable age.
Were you a good student? Were you a good student?
Yeah, I was a very studious kid.
Did you like school?
I liked to read. I played the piano
Uh-huh.
to destruction. Probably drove my mother nuts. But it caught on to me all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had to be the best pianist playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did pretty good. I give a full piano recital from memory. Beethoven sonata, Chopin pieces, Paderewski pieces. I just had a ball.
And did that love of piano, has that come right through your whole life?
Yeah, I played in a dance band. I got paid a little money.
Uh-huh.
Then I was a church organist for about 30 years.
Yeah, I knew you were the organist at St. John's.
At St. John's.
How did you learn to play the organ? Because that's different from the piano.
It is. I applied myself just like I did to the piano. Practiced hours and hours.
Were you self-taught on the organ, or did you have an organ teacher?
Now, I had Brent Hilton up at Western Maryland College.
Oh, he taught you.
He taught me.
Oh, okay.
It's I was self-taught in a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good to have a teacher to give you a little guidance.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
Because you can do a lot of wrong things, and you get in the habit of doing wrong things, and it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad to break yourself.
Yeah. Now, were you the organist when it was down on Main Street?
Yeah, what was on Main Street?
Okay, you've never been the organist in the new church then?
No.
Oh, okay. The organ in the church on Main Street, was it a pipe organ?
Oh, yeah. 3-manual molar. Put in by the molar people up in Hagerstown. They're out of business. Have been for years.
Oh, okay. Now, how many keyboards were there on that organ?
This is 3-manual, and it's been added to since that.
Oh, they have the same organ still.
Now it's a first-class organ.
Oh, okay.
Got nobody to play it, because Catholics just don't bother about pipe organs.
Are you saying they don't use the organ now? They don't have an organist now?
They got an organist, but she really don't know how to play it.
Okay.
But they got a first-class organ.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they got that, the trouble is, the church doesn't pay anything. They don't
Right.
attract anybody that's
Yeah.
worth anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you were worth something.
yeah, because I practiced an awful lot, and they kept adding to it. Now they got a first-class organ there.
Right.
Nobody can really play it, but they got it there.
Right.
But that's for somebody maybe it's not even born yet,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't pay anything.
Right. But the organ's there when they find somebody.
Now Ted Dix, he was one of my students
Uh-huh.
years ago. Well, he avoided St. John's because they don't pay anything.
Okay.
Plays at the Grace Lutheran because they pay a pretty good salary.
Oh, okay. It's the Catholic Church that doesn't pay.
Plus, he teaches at the Western Maryland College. Teaches organ.
Okay, right.
And gives organ lessons, piano lessons.
So now you graduated in 1936 in the middle of the Depression, right?
Yeah.
What kind of memories do you have of the Depression?
Nothing unpleasant, because my mother, when she had me, after she had me, married a much older man who's a retired farmer.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have any awful memories of the Depression because it didn't affect me a bit.
Okay, so you don't remember being short of food or not being able to buy clothes or...
We had a great big garden
Uh-huh.
and a whole bunch of chickens.
Uh-huh.
So I never went hungry.
Right.
I didn't know what the Depression was.
Right.
I read about it because I've always been a great reader of current news.
Mm-hmm.
And some people had it pretty rough.
I know some people had it very rough.
And some family people couldn't get jobs. It was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel any pinch because my stepfather was retired. And
He sold the farm, so he had some money behind him.
yeah, he had money after he sold the farm.
Right. So,
And he had money in the Farmers Mechanics Bank.
okay.
And all these old fellows got their heads together. They were thinking of taking their money out of the bank.
Mm-hmm.
My mother talked him out of it. And when they had that bank moratorium, afterwards, when the banks reopened, the Farmers Mechanics was the strongest bank in Westminster because they didn't take any money
Right, because there hadn't been a run on
from
it.
the savings account.
Right.
Well, it's a lot of them did.
Yeah.
Some banks never reopened. Everybody
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
lost everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that from reading about the Depression.
Yeah, that was bad times.
Did you play sports in school? When you were in school, did you play sports?
No, they didn't have any sports in St. John's. But I did in the neighborhood. We played
Right.
football and baseball. And
Right.
we always had a bunch of kids that played.
Kick a ball
Yeah.
around. Mm-hmm.
And Doris Mathias, she was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked her because she's a pretty little girl. She's still alive. She's just about my age, in
Right.
her 90s.
Yeah. Did you, were there school activities? Were there dances, for instance?
There was some dance, but I didn't dance much.
You didn't dance,
when I
huh?
was a kid.
How about school plays? Did you have school plays?
Oh yeah, I was in plays, plenty of plays.
What kind of play? Do you remember anyone?
We were in a high school play when I was in the senior in high school.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty elaborate.
How big was the school then? You said there were 4 high school classes?
Yeah, there was 7 grades and 4 grades of high school.
Right, okay. And how many in your graduating class?
There's 11 of us.
Oh, very small.
Yeah.
Very small class,
Yeah.
yeah. So none of the classes were really too big.
No.
No. Did you have a favorite teacher in school?
Well, of course, we had all nuns.
Yeah.
Not really. Sister Dolores was a teacher at a university level.
Uh-huh.
And she got a hold of me and really taught me on a much higher level than a high school teacher would teach.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
With small classes, you know, they can do that. They can single out kids that need special help of any
most of our
kind.
class would be 10, 15 people.
Right, and that's very small classes by today's standards.
And I was always interested in reading. I still read an awful lot.
Right.
And that's a good thing when you're retired here. I don't sit and look at the 4 walls and regret I've got nobody to talk to.
Absolutely.
Because well, you can see you got all these
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
around.
What kind of things do you read now?
Everything.
Everything. Fiction and
Anything I can get
nonfiction?
my hands on.
Anything that's printed, huh?
Yeah. Shakespeare plays, the current books, Harvard 5-foot bookshelf.
Back of the toothpaste tube? The back of the toothpaste tube? That's printed.
Back of the toothpaste.
Yeah.
Pepsodent.
Pepsodent.
Bob Hope.
You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Yeah. But I had a good childhood. Now, I was abused by a much older man. But I've talked to a couple of psychiatrists about this later on.
Uh-huh.
And they told me that didn't affect me a bit.
Well, that's good. That's good. Because in those days, nobody talked about that sort of thing, did they?
Oh, I never understand that because I told my mother about that and nobody took any action on it.
And she didn't do anything about it.
So, it really didn't affect me. Didn't
Oh, that's
bother
good.
me.
That's wonderful. It means you had to be a pretty well-balanced person in the first place then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't throw me off.
So you graduated in 1936?
That was my school.
Right. And then you went to college, 4 years?
1940.
40. And then 1940 you were drafted. Is that right?
That's another story. Yeah, I was drafted. I went in for an examination and got a 4F. That was the bottom of the barrel.
Right. Why did you get a 4F?
It's funny now. It just made me mad at the time. I went up to get a physical examination.
Right.
When you play the piano, like I did,
Uh-huh.
sit all the time,
Yeah.
you get corns on your rear end.
Right.
So when I took my pants down, the doctor, he just died laughing at me. And that made me mad. When he got through with me, because I had corns on my rear end, he gave me 4F. That was the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
4F. So the very next, that really upset me. The very next day, I got somebody to take me in an automobile to the Baltimore post office.
Uh-huh.
And I was, without saying a thing, I got 4F from being drafted.
Right.
Without saying a word, I went through the physical examination, and I was in the Navy.
And you passed for the Navy. The Army didn't want you, but the Navy would have you.
I didn't know this at the time, but I was living with my mother,
Uh-huh.
and on the strength of that, I wouldn't have had to go at all. But I couldn't do that.
Right.
With everybody else going there,
Yeah.
I'd been ashamed.
Yeah. In spite of the fact you had corns on your bottom. You could
So
hardly
I think
explain
that
to
was
people. You couldn't explain to people, I can't go to war because I have corns on my butt.
But that was fortunate for me because maybe if I'd have gone in the Army, I'd be dead. I don't know.
Well, you don't know. You know, it's
No.
like the road less traveled. You don't know where it might have taken you.
But I was in the, without saying a word, I just got in the line and had this physical examination for the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in. I remember running up the hill there at George Street yelling to my mother, I'm in.
I wonder how she felt about it.
Now that's another thing, I don't know. Because she was alone. I never thought about this. You know, when there's a war on and everybody else is going to
Right.
the war, you don't want to stay behind.
No.
Yeah.
But mothers' hearts ache when their only child goes off to war.
And,
Were you and your mother very close?
well, yeah.
I would think so, being the only child.
I never thought of it at the time, but I wanted to go. You know, everybody else is going,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to be a 4F for nothing.
Right.
So the very next day, I got Bernadette Road to take me down to Baltimore to the post office, and I was in the Navy.
And how soon before you left then?
Just a week or so.
Okay.
I went down to Norfolk and I was on a Santee. 5 of us were Santee specials.
Okay.
I was on there 4 years. I think that's the reason because I played the organ, they didn't have anybody else for church service. So I stuck there and on the Santee 4 years. And that's a picture of it right back there.
Yeah, I saw the picture when I was here last time, yeah.
Yeah.
So you spent the whole war on one ship.
4
Was
years.
that unusual?
I guess so, but they couldn't get anybody else to play the organ. I think that's one of the reasons, maybe that.
But did they really have an organ on the ship? It must have been a piano, wasn't it?
They had a piano and an organ.
They had an organ on a ship.
They had a small
Right.
reed organ.
Okay.
But enough I could play for church service.
Right. So,
And we had a dance orchestra.
who did you dance with? Who did you dance with? You were all sailors.
Well, we had dances when we got into port.
Oh, okay, right.
But we had a little band. But I played for church services. We had church service every Sunday.
And that's why they kept you on the ship, instead of sending you off to a different ship.
Now they had, on the Santee, there was a one-purpose chaplain.
Oh, so he was Catholic, Protestant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one time they had a Protestant minister, and he had a general purpose service.
Okay.
And they had a Catholic priest. He had another general service.
Okay.
Everybody could go to.
Uh-huh.
And
Did you have any Jewish people on your ship? Any Jewish people?
yeah, but we didn't.
No Jewish services, no rabbi.
Yeah. Now, some of these bigger ships had a rabbi,
Uh-huh.
but we didn't have any. We just had one all-purpose chaplain.
Right. How big was the crew on your ship?
About 5,000 all together.
Oh, so there was a good number of men.
Yeah.
What kind of ship was it?
Aircraft carrier, right? Back
Okay. How many airplanes?
there, 30.
30 planes.
And after the war, the week after the war, it was dismantled for scrap.
That was the end of it, huh? So you got on this ship in Norfolk?
Yeah. That
And
was,
where were you sent first?
we invaded North Africa.
Okay.
To help defeat Rommel,
Uh-huh.
because he was winning pretty good in North
I
Africa.
know, at the beginning of the war. The
And
Desert Fox.
That was the first big invasion we had.
Mm-hmm. And were you offloading men and supplies? Was that your job? To carry men and supplies to Africa?
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course we had this big aircraft carrier, and
Well, yeah, you had...
The,
that's right.
airplanes took a big part in the invasion.
Right.
We invaded North Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And Rommel was winning out.
Mm-hmm.
Rommel was the head man, the head German
Right.
officer. And but then we come along, the invasion of North Africa.
Mm-hmm. Well, what year was that? Was that like 1941 or 42? Must have been 42, I would think.
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. Because we
And
only came
after
into the
that,
war in 41.
We took part in a lot of these other smaller islands,
Mm-hmm.
smaller invasions. We talked coagulating till we got all of Africa.
Right. But you didn't spend the rest of the war there.
After that, we took part in the invasion of France,
Okay.
invasion of Europe,
Uh-huh.
Fortress Europa, that
Okay.
the Germans had occupied France
Uh-huh.
and Germany eventually.
But you told me you also went to the Pacific.
Yeah, that we spent the first year of the war in January, February of 1944 in the Atlantic.
Okay.
Never went through the Panama Canal.
Did you go through the Panama Canal? Did you go to the Japan after the war in Europe finished?
Then in 1940, we went through the Panama Canal.
Right.
And that's an experience in itself. We went through from the Atlantic to the Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
And that means going through these locks
Mm-hmm.
that they raise you up as you go through
Mm-hmm.
till you get to the Pacific side.
Right.
And we were there the rest of the war.
Right. How many locks? How many locks on the Panama Canal? Do you know?
I don't know.
A lot?
Oh, 4 or 5 of them.
Oh, okay. How long did it take to get through it?
A day.
Okay.
Then we spent the night in Gatun Lake. That's right in the middle of the canal.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, we went to the Pacific side.
Okay.
They were there for the rest of the war.
Now, is that a freshwater lake in the middle of the canal, or is it a saltwater lake? I would think it'd be salt water.
This is fresh water, I think. Well, I'm not sure.
Okay. You didn't go swimming in it, huh?
We probably went over the side, swimming.
Okay.
And that's another story because I taught myself to swim. I was in boot camp,
Uh-huh.
and they lined us up one morning. Said, "All right, who can't swim? Step out." Nobody moved. I couldn't swim.
But you weren't going to tell them.
Then they said, "Well, now we get the swimming pool. Everybody jump in." So I jumped in and went right to the bottom. Then they got a hooked me up by the seat of the pants. Said, "I think you better take some swimming lessons." So I never really learned to swim with instructors.
Right.
But most of these islands, it doesn't get really deep till you get out a mile or so.
Right.
So it's over your head. So I was swimming water that wasn't over my head.
Right.
Then I got brave and I went in water that was too deep for me. And plus I fell over the side of the ship a couple of times, just fall over the side. It was 600 feet was over my head.
Right.
And that's
Right
how I
over your head.
how I learned to swim.
Sink or swim.
I didn't have any trouble.
Did you enjoy swimming?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we never we got torpedoed, but we didn't sink.
Right. You got torpedoed in the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We got a fish, and Commander Hashimoto was the fellow that did it.
Uh-huh.
He was in the Imperial Japanese Navy, right off of the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
We got this torpedo, but it didn't sink us. But it threw a hell of a hole in the side of the ship, and we made it back without sinking. We got a great big patch.
Uh-huh.
We went back to Okinawa again.
Right. Then you must have been on land for a while they patched up your ship.
We went on leave for Christmas.
Right. Did you come home for Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the only time you were home?
No, a little while before that.
Okay.
But then we got almost a month off at that time. That was the biggest leave we had.
Right. And both times you did get to come home, though.
Yeah.
Did you fly home then?
Now, I went coast to coast by train.
Okay.
And
But when you came from Europe or from Africa, you didn't come by train. You had to. Did you fly or did you come on a boat?
The first time we got to leave, and we were down Norfolk.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got leave, I came by train.
Okay, yeah, because that wasn't so far.
Westminster.
Yeah.
And
But then you got leave when you were in the Pacific when your ship was damaged. And did they fly you home then?
I came on a railroad.
Not from the Pacific. You had to get across that ocean somehow. I came home
cross country by railroad.
Okay.
Took 4 days, I think.
Right.
It was a lot of fun for me. Clear cross country
Right.
on the railroad. Union Pacific.
Right.
And I really enjoyed the scenery and everything. Took 4 days.
Right.
So I got to Westminster. And I was home about a week and then back
And
out.
4 days back again.
And when we got out there, they'd patched a hole in the ship. We were ready to go to Okinawa. That was the last big invasion.
Right.
After that, then I came home.
Right. Well, were you still in the Navy at the end of World War II when the Hiroshima was bombed and Nagasaki?
Yeah, I was in the Navy.
When the atom bombs were dropped?
Oh, yeah. I was in the Navy after the atom bombs were dropped. A month or so.
Okay.
Then we got sent home.
Right. Okay, fine. So.
I was very happy, but then I read about the awful suffering they had
Yes,
in
terrible.
Japan.
Terrible.
Yeah,
And of course, they're having terrible suffering now too, with their nuclear reactors breaking down and the tsunami, and terrible things are happening in Japan now.
although I was affected in a direct way, because after that bomb was dropped, that was the end of the war.
Right.
It ended everything. We didn't have to invade Japan or anything.
Right.
But since
So you
I've
came
since,
home. So you came home.
Yeah, I've since read about this.
Uh-huh.
I have second thoughts about how they dropped the bomb. Terrible suffering.
Do you think they shouldn't have dropped it?
Huh?
Do you think they shouldn't have dropped it?
Yeah, they should have. It just ended the war.
Yeah. Because even if we had invaded and fought,
Oh,
you know, town to town,
the
village to
casualties
village, it
would
would
have
have
been
been
something.
it would have been just as awful.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of choosing the lesser of two evils, isn't it?
So with the bomb was so terrible, it just ended everything.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Japanese people just realized, the Emperor of Japan realized that they couldn't
Yeah.
do anything.
It was
more.
finished. Yeah. So.
It was so dramatic to end the thing.
Yeah.
And you know, I was home on leave. The last time I was on leave, I always went up to Western Maryland College.
Uh-huh.
And I talked to Dean Schofield up there. And he said, yeah, they're working on something big, but I couldn't find out what it was. It was the atomic bomb.
Right.
He said, I tried to find out, but I couldn't find it.
A secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
And
secret.
that was a well-kept secret
Yeah.
until they dropped it.
Because I think Hitler was working on the same thing. Hitler was working on an A-bomb too, but he hadn't perfected it.
No.
So, but wasn't the scientist who was in charge of the program that produced the bomb, that he was a German, wasn't he? Oppenheimer? I think he was a German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Werner von Braun.
Von Braun.
He was German.
Yeah.
But that was so dramatic. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was awful for all those innocent Japanese people
Right.
to die like.
Right. You know, if we hadn't dropped that bomb, if we had invaded, the Japanese people still would have suffered, and our people would have suffered, and the casualties would have been the same regardless.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know the rights and wrongs of it, but I just happen to think war is a wrong thing to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
So.
that bomb was so terrible, it just ended everything.
Yeah. So you came home back to Westminster. What did you do?
Well, I worked at Holmes for a number of years,
What did you do? What kind of work did you do?
killing hogs.
Really?
Well,
When you came back from the Navy, you killed hogs?
Yeah.
Worked in a slaughterhouse?
Yeah. I just got this job, and it was easy for me, and I stayed in it for 30 years.
30 years?
Yeah.
So that really was your career, so to speak, in the meat
And-
industry.
Plus, I played the organ in church. I played
Right.
in dance bands, and I did a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. You didn't marry. You didn't get married, is
No,
that right?
that's another mistake, but it don't bother me now. But I should have gotten married, I guess. But
Right.
once I flew clear out to the West Coast.
For a girl?
She's married already. My,
She should have told you before you bought the airline ticket.
I know. I corresponded with her for a year or so.
Right.
When I got out there, that's the first thing she told me, right off. So we had a nice time that evening talking.
Right.
I wasn't mad or anything. I just felt good. And
Did you meet her husband?
no,
Oh, you didn't meet the
she
husband.
was secretly married. Her father was the only one who knew about it.
Oh, I see. How long had she been married?
Just a couple months or so.
Oh, she was newly married.
So I don't know whatever happened to her. So,
You lost track of her, huh?
yeah. But we had a nice talk that evening.
Right.
In fact, she threw a wet blanket over me.
Mm-hmm.
So we sit and talk the whole evening outside of her house.
Uh-huh.
Her father was the only one that knew this.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't make any attempt to create a big disturbance or anything. We just sit and talk.
Right. So.
While we were talking, there was a fellow came out of the house next door.
Uh-huh.
So damn drunk he could hardly walk.
Okay.
He tried to get in his car and he fell down. Finally got up, got in the car and drove off. I told the girl, you see that?
So drunk he couldn't even walk, but he could drive off.
That's right. So I don't know whatever happened to him. But he was so damn drunk he fell down. Finally got up, opened the car and wobbled into the car and drove off.
And drove away.
I told her, you see that? So I don't know whatever hell happened to him. Because I lost track of him after that night.
Well, at least he wasn't the husband. If he came out of the house next door, he wasn't the new husband.
No, that wasn't this girl's husband. That was some other guy she didn't even know. But I never knew what happened to her. See, I corresponded with her for about a year before I went after her. Oh, well, it was a very big disappointment.
One of life's experiences.
Huh?
I said one of life's experiences.
Yeah, I just put that aside because I had a lot of other interests. I didn't let that.
You say you played in a dance band?
Yeah.
How many people in the band?
Oh, it's about 10 or.
Oh, pretty good sized band.
Yeah.
Okay, right. And you played the piano?
Yeah.
Did you ever play any other instrument?
No.
Okay.
I was 30 years in church playing the pipe organ.
Right. But you never played the violin like your mother or
No.
any of the brass instruments?
No.
How about drums?
I played the bass drum in a marching band
Okay.
for 37 years.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun. I used to bounce a small camera on top of the bass drum.
Uh-huh.
And was marching along, I'd take pictures of the people along the street.
Oh, what a good idea.
And right here, that's pictures of the band.
Uh-huh.
And this is different pictures of my life.
Who put this collage together for you, or did you do it?
That was one of my former girlfriends.
Okay.
And that's me. Now let me see.
Where's your mother?
She's not on here.
Okay.
Now that's me. And that's my friend here, Ted Dix. And that's me. And this is Ted here.
Is that you up on top in the shorts and the white shirt? Is that you?
There.
Up above there. Yeah.
No.
What about the lady up in the corner? Who's that?
It's one of my aunts.
That's one of your aunts? But your mom isn't there.
No, my mother's not on there. I think she was dead by that time.
When did she die?
1960, 50 some.
Okay.
I'm just trying to. Oh yeah, that's me when I was 5 years old.
You see. Oh, okay.
I was an older boy in a fancy cassock,
Right,
little red cape there, busted brown collar kind of strangled you. But I was an older boy,
Okay.
just about 5 years old, and that's right back to the down here on Main Street in the church grounds.
Right.
Had a white cassock, white surplice, red cape.
Who is this lady?
That's my Aunt Rena.
That's another aunt.
She's still alive, yeah. Aunt Rena.
And these ladies?
Yeah, and that's Aunt Rena and Aunt, that's one, the other aunt. I just forget her name.
And that's you in the middle?
That's me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Navy.
Right.
And that's me, Myers' band. That's
Uh-huh.
me. This is Myers' band here.
Right.
And that's me in the bass drum. And that's Uncle Leo and Uncle Ed.
So you had lots of relatives, lots of aunts and uncles.
Yeah, I
And,
had about 6 or 7 uncles.
and cousins as well?
Now I was the only child.
But they must have had children.
Oh yeah, I had a whole bunch of
Lots of cousins.
first cousins.
Yeah.
My Uncle Ed had a child. Uncle Leo had several children.
Mhm.
They were all first cousins.
Right. And were they about your age? Were they playmates?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So.
Aunt Dorothy Swinderman was the first cousin. Rena Swinderman's first cousin.
Mhm.
Cordelia Swinderman was the first cousin.
Right. And are they all gone now?
Helen Swinderman.
Right.
Most of them, I guess.
Right.
But Rena in Philadelphia, I think she's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Dorothy's dead. Of course, when you live, I'm about 90 years old.
Right.
You isolate yourself because
Your peer group dies off.
everybody else dies.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
'Cause I'm 90 some, and
I know my dad was 91 when he died, and we thought, oh, nobody will come to the funeral. But there were probably 60 people there. It was a big funeral.
yeah, I can't believe I'm this so 91 now, and I feel pretty good. I get
When
around.
did you retire?
Well, almost after I got out of the Navy.
Well, no, you said you went to work for a company that
Oh,
dealt
yeah,
in pork?
Yeah, well, yeah, I worked. At Hans.
Oh, Hans. I know
So
Hans.
they went out of business.
Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't really go out of business because I bought a ham there for Easter.
Well, yeah, they're still in business, but not as big as
Okay.
when I was with them.
Right.
Because they had a big meat plant, processed a lot of hogs.
Right. And they slaughtered, did they?
Slaughtered hogs.
Do they still slaughter or don't you know?
Huh?
Do they still slaughter or don't you know that?
I don't think they do.
I would kind of doubt it, yeah. I tell you what, we got a wonderful ham there though. Phew, it was good.
Yeah, we used to get a ham every Christmas.
Mm-hmm. So that's where you worked then, at Hans. And what year did you quit that?
Well,
Long time ago, huh?
it just kind of fizzed out. They just kind of went out of business gradually.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed working there. It was a bunch of good fellows.
Did you continue to live in your mother's house?
Yeah. Now that's another story. Of course, I was the executor for a state.
Right.
I had a 6-room brick house,
Mm-hmm.
two stories with a basement and an attic. It cost maybe $7,000 to build.
Uh-huh.
I sold that house for about $400,000. It makes me laugh. $400,000. That's what I'm living off of now.
Right. How long have you been here at the village? What year did you move here? Do you remember?
I've been here maybe 10 years.
Oh, long time.
Yeah. I played the piano here, provided dinner music before I ever moved here.
Oh, okay.
Good many years.
So you knew the village before you ever moved here.
That's the reason I come out here.
Right.
I was pretty well acquainted
Mm-hmm.
with the chaplain, Jimmy, and everybody.
Mm-hmm. When you first lived here, did you have an apartment? Or did you move right into this room?
No, I had a different apartment than I have now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then you moved to assisted living. And do you like living here?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
They take care of you and give you your pills when you need them.
Right.
I've had no major illness or anything, but
Uh-huh.
if something would happen to you, they'd take care of you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But so far, I've been very fortunate.
Yeah.
I can get around by myself. I hear pretty good, and
And you can see all right, so you can still read.
that's another thing. I had some cataracts on my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Since I had that operation 10 years ago, I don't need any glasses.
Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it?
I can read with that glass. I love to read,
Uh-huh.
and I sleep well,
Mm-hmm.
get around, eat well.
Right. You like the food?
Never miss a meal.
No, that's good. That's wonderful.
And we had a couple of reunions from the Navy,
Uh-huh.
but most of us got too old to go to any reunions.
Yes.
So they don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I got that picture up there, because a couple of months after the war was ended, that ship ended up in the scrap heap. It was taken apart for scrap.
That's what you said. I wonder why.
Well, that was just another ship.
I suppose,
Just
yeah.
a lot of surplus.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of surplus scrap that was just taken apart.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of it.
Yeah. That's kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah, but I still have that nice picture.
Right.
One of the fellows painted that,
Uh-huh.
watercolor. So that's the only memory I have of it.
Right.
But that was a good memory. That ship took a torpedo and didn't sink.
That's right.
And we always used to talk about this, whether he could take a torpedo or not. And he did.
Mm-hmm.
Put a great big hole in it.
Why didn't it sink?
I don't know, but it didn't.
Maybe it was divided into watertight compartments.
They did. They had a lot of water tanks.
Yeah. So that, and
It was a big floating gas tank. That's what it was.
it's kind of scary, isn't it, though? Think you're getting hit, you know, it could go up like a bomb, couldn't it?
If it would have caught fire, the explosion would have been something tremendous.
Yes. Yeah. And you wouldn't be here to talk about it.
That's right. But it wasn't to be.
Somebody was watching over you.
There's about 1,000 people aboard that ship.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you lose any of your airplanes, or don't you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes we'd go a couple weeks, no accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, got to have 2 or 3 planes come in and bust up on a hangar deck,
Mm-hmm.
and have to push them over the side or something, and some more come in. Other days, wouldn't have any wrecks at all.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they'd have a hell of a mess.
Were there any planes that took off from the ship and never returned?
Oh yeah.
There must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that just did. Were they bombers or were they fighter planes?
We had that 15 fighter planes, small F-4Fs,
Mm-hmm.
and about 10 TBFs. They were a 3-man plane. Had a pilot, a gunner, and a radio man.
Okay.
They're right big planes
And what were they used for?
for putting depth charges down.
Okay.
They could either have a torpedo about 10 or 15 feet long
Mm-hmm.
to torpedo a ship, or they could have 4 depth charges or bombs
Okay.
in the
Right.
bomb bay.
Right.
That was the TBFs.
Mm-hmm.
The fighters were very small. They were just a 1-man
Right.
plane. And they were pretty good for those times. They could hit 400 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. When was the first time you were ever up in an airplane?
Well, that was during the war. That was in a commercial flight. I went
Okay.
coast to coast a couple
Okay.
times.
Uh-huh.
I like flying.
When did you learn to drive a car?
Oh, after I got out of the Navy.
Okay, so as a boy growing up, you never drove? Your mother didn't have a car?
No.
Okay.
But when I got out of the Navy, I bought a car and I learned to drive.
Mm-hmm. What'd you buy? What was it?
It was a Pontiac.
What year?
But I won a car.
You won a car?
In 1946, I took one chance from the American Legion and I won it
Oh my goodness.
on a $5 chance. It was a 4-door maroon Pontiac.
Uh-huh.
And the retail price on that was something like $4,000.
Uh-huh. And you got it for $5.
And I had it for about 10 years.
Right. You must have been excited.
Oh, yeah. When I first got it, it had 28 miles on it. I took a chance, $5 chance, Monday morning, and when I came back from choir practice Monday evening, Bob Day called me up. Said, "Charlie, you won the car." I said, "Repeat that." Said, "You won the car." I said, "I'll be right down." So I went down to American Legion Post.
Uh-huh.
They're the ones that raffled it off. But I didn't get it right away. They had to prep it, fix it up at the
Right.
garage.
But you already knew how to drive then.
Then I'd learned to drive before that little
Oh,
while.
I was going to say, you knew how to drive when you won it.
But I drove for 30 years or so without getting a ticket.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So when I got to be over 80 years old, I just gave up my license.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple of cases of older fellows that were driving that got in bad accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that a lot of times. Somebody gets in an accident, they're killed.
That's right. Or they kill somebody else.
And and this old guy, maybe he's 80-some years old,
Yeah.
he's still driving.
Yeah.
So I gave up my license
Yeah.
years ago.
So.
I never had any accident. I never will now.
But it was very good that you knew to give up and nobody had to say.
Huh?
I said it's very good that you decided yourself,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and the doctor or somebody didn't have to take your license away.
No, nobody had to do that.
Yeah.
Because I just gave up my license.
Right. So. Do you remember as a little boy, were there lots of horses around yet? Horses and carts?
Horses.
As a little boy?
Yeah. We got coal every year.
Mm-hmm.
Elmer Lippy
Okay.
had some big wagons and a couple of great big draft animals.
Right.
And they'd get a whole carload full of coal down in the freight yard there in Westminster.
Yeah.
And Mr. Lippy would shovel this coal off the cars, put on his horse and wagon, and put that in their cellar.
And did one cartload keep you all winter?
No, about the middle of the winter we got another
one.
some more
Okay.
coal. But we had an upstairs stove. We burned hard coal in that.
Mm-hmm.
Burned soft coal in the furnace.
Okay. Which is better?
Well, the hard coal keeps the heat longer.
Okay.
Of course, the soft coal is cheaper.
Okay.
It's more dirt mixed in with it.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I know we burned coal when I was a child, but I don't know what kind of coal it was. I just know the coal cellar was there. And
Oh, we used to burn soft coal.
so who had to clean out the ashes? Was that your job? Was it your job to clean out the ashes?
Yeah, I took ashes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got to put a hot water furnace in with radiators over the house. And so we had a hot water furnace with radiators all through the house.
If you go to downtown Westminster now, how does it look different than it did when you were a boy?
Oh,
Any relation at all?
not too much different.
Oh, good.
I was thinking that there's more traffic signals.
Right.
Now, the first traffic signal they had was there right at Myers' store, right on Liberty.
Yeah, and Main Street. Railroad Avenue on one side, Liberty on the other, right, okay.
Liberty Street and
And Main Street.
Green Street.
Oh, and Green Street.
Right there where Myers' store was.
Right, okay.
And that was a bad place. They had a lot of accidents there.
Uh-huh. And that was the first traffic light.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of different stores downtown, didn't you, that no longer exist?
You had some A&P stores.
But when you were a boy, wasn't there a sewing factory downtown?
Oh, yeah, that was right there at John Street, John and Main Street.
Okay.
That was 4 stories,
Uh-huh.
sewing factory. And then on Carroll, Pennsylvania Avenue, and they had the shoe factory.
Okay.
I forget what's. That was another big street in Westminster. But the shoe factory was there, and I just forget what street that was.
Was there a J.C. Penney's downtown at one time?
Yeah, right there at the where on Main Street,
Right.
where and Liberty Street run together.
Okay.
Yeah, there was J.C. Penney.
How about a Woolworth? Did you ever have a Woolworth
Yeah,
here?
they had a Woolworth store. Right there at the railroad.
Okay.
And they had a J.C. Penney store up at John Street. John
Oh, okay.
Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one was the 10-cent store on Main Street, and then they had the sewing factory. That was on Main Street,
Right.
Main and John Street
Okay. Right.
sewing factory.
Yeah.
That was 4 stories. That was a right big operation.
When you were a little boy, how did you get money? Did you ever go to the dime store, or how did you ever get money?
From the time I was 7 or 8 years old, I had a paper route,
Okay.
and I delivered circulars.
Okay.
Once a week, I delivered for the Sanitary Grocery Company. Sanitary Grocery.
Okay.
I've been going through the whole town. I got up 4 o'clock in the morning. Till 8 o'clock, we done the whole town.
Uh-huh.
And that's one morning I almost froze to death. That was the coldest day they've had in Carroll County since that time. It was 30 below zero.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
it's
you
never,
still did your round.
never been that cold since, and I was out at it.
And how old were you?
About 12, I guess.
Okay.
11, 12. And I remember we went up Main Street. I didn't realize how cold it was, and I had thin school clothes on.
Right.
And God, going up Main Street, and I was about freezing to death. We got up to Maggie's Lawns at the end of Green Street.
Right.
I got in that warm air and I passed out.
Oh, really?
So then we decided that we'd hold it up till the evening. This was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
So we had so that evening, I was dressed a lot warmer for it because I didn't realize how cold it was. And we finished the route.
Right.
But we used to do the whole town.
When
till
you say
school
we,
time.
how many of you? How many of you?
The fellow that worked at the Sanitary Groceries Company and myself.
Oh, just two
us.
of you. Okay.
We'd go up Main Street, then we'd go up Green Street
Mm-hmm.
and get the other side streets.
Right.
And we'd do that till it got to be about 8 o'clock.
Right.
That was
Then you had to go to school.
go to school.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had money to go to the 5 and dime.
Plus I had a paper route and I delivered circulars like
Right.
this. Deliver circulars at 4:30 in the morning. I got 3 big shiny quarters,
Oh.
75 cents. Of course, 75 cents went a lot
Absolutely.
longer than it does now.
Yeah. How much did it cost to go to the movies when you were a boy?
About a dime.
Yeah, that's what I
And
thought.
you could stay the whole damn day.
Right.
I'd go in there, Saturday afternoon, you stay there till midnight.
Yeah.
And my mother come down and root me out of the theater right there on Main Street.
Where the art center is now. The art center is in the old theater now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was before the Carroll Theater was built.
Okay.
That was the first theater there, right at where
Pennsylvania Avenue comes. Yeah.
where
Yeah.
right where Liberty Street comes down.
No, it's up the road yet up the road from Pennsylvania Avenue. Sorry, it's up the road from Liberty Street. Yeah.
Yeah, we lived in Pennsylvania Avenue.
Right. And you said your grandfather built that house?
Yeah.
That's what I
Charlie
thought.
Swinderman
Yeah.
built that house up on George Street.
For $8,000.
$7,000.
$7,000. Yeah.
I sold it for $400,000.
And really, you lived your whole life in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kept it in good shape. I painted it a couple of times. I got somebody else to paint the roof because I wasn't about to crawl.
Right. Good thinking.
But I painted the shutters. I painted the window frames.
Uh-huh.
And that's a good bit because it's about maybe 30 window frames.
Right.
Painted the window frames white and the shutters green. We had a full set of shutters on maybe 30-some windows or so.
Right.
Kept the grass cut, and it's still there.
Right, it's still there.
Still good house.
Yeah.
And I got myself a 1/4-inch trowel and remortared the house
Around the
number
bricks.
of years.
Mm-hmm.
But I painted all the window frames white
Right.
and the shutters green. We have 30 sets or so of shutters.
Right. Is it still there? Is the house still
Oh,
there
yes.
with green shutters and white
there.
windows? And
Yeah.
what number is it?
About what was 31, 40, 30
They
or
probably
40.
change. I'll probably change the numbers. Yeah.
West George is
Yeah.
the West George, and it's an East George Street.
Oh yes, of course. I know where it was.
That's where direct gas to you is on the other
Right.
end of the street.
Yeah. Okay. I know where it is.
So we're up the hill.
Yeah.
The only brick house on that one side.
Right.